Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to do another fun musical trivia fact, and this is number 2. I did number 1 a couple of days ago. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's pretty interesting, because basically what I do is share some facts with you regarding the music industry or songs that you didn't know. And number 1 today is Roberta Flack's "The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face." If you listen to that song closely, and she wrote it, she talks about how she went to an intimate musical setting, a jazz club or whatever, and she was taken back by this guy's performance and his lyrical content, you know. And a lot of people for many years didn't know that she wrote that based on a true life experience. And the person that moved her so deeply musically was Don McLean. Now, some people say, who was Don McLean? Don McLean wrote "The Day the Music Died," a tribute to Buddy Holly. And when most of us think of that song, we think of, we kind of mistitle it. You know, we say Miss American Pie, when actually the name of the song is "The Day the Music Died." And he talks about how, you know, when Buddy Holly died, perished in a plane accident, that was the day that the music died. So that song that Roberta Flack wrote was a nod to Don McLean. Number 2, and I've mentioned this one before, and I felt I needed to mention it too because this is extremely clever what this band did. Back in the 70s, there was a group called the Rance Allen Group. They recorded a song called "I Belong to You." Now, when you listen to that song, the lyrical content, the music, you say, hey, it's an R&B song, hey. And I remember slow dancing to it at a party, you know, back in the 70s. And then somebody pulled me to the side and said, really listen to the lyrics. And I listened again, and I thought it was, again, a guy writing a song about a woman. But when he told me what the song was about, I was like, whoa, I listened to it again. I said, you know what? I would have never caught it. That song was about God. It was not about a relationship or a guy trying to get together with a woman. It was about him professing his love for God, you know, and it's like, whoa, that's clever. And I think one reason why they decided to do that, because back in the 70s, if you did a quote unquote gospel song, it got rotation maybe one day out the week on Sundays, because most music stations would set aside a couple of hours on Sunday, and not really the whole day, but just a couple of hours, and they would play gospel songs. So if you were fortunate enough, you got your song played one day out the week, maybe once that entire day. So Rance Allen decided, and I don't know, well, I'm assuming this, that they said, you know what, we want heavy rotation. So they wrote an R&B song that was actually a gospel song. And the reason why I say an R&B song, because when you listen to the lyrical content, you're thinking it's just another love song. When you listen to the music arrangement, it sounds like an R&B song. It wasn't heavy organs or anything like that that would kind of determine this is gospel. So that was extremely clever what they did, and they got a lot of play off that record throughout the entire week and not just on Sunday. So I thought that was extremely clever as far as that, because when I listened to it, I'm like, hey, it's an R&B song, I want to slow dance, but it was actually a gospel song, and they were talking about God. Number 3, this is an interesting one, because I remember playing this song in the basement of my buddy's garage when we were first starting bands in the late 70s, and it was Queen's "Another One Bites the Dust." Now, when you listen to that song, and if you were a big Queen fan back in that day, it was a total departure from what they were doing. They were doing rock, they were doing kind of classical mixed with rock, Bohemian Rhapsody, you know, that was kind of a rock opera thing, and they were just a hard rocking band. And then all of a sudden they come out with this song that, you know, just kind of had this heavy bass driven type of track, you know, because when people think of it, they think of that bass line, da 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 da. And that song was not even slated to be on that album. It wasn't until Michael Jackson actually heard it before they were putting out the album. He said, you need to include this one because this is going to be a hit. And taking the advice of Michael Jackson, who of course was a big star then, they decided to release it and put it on the album, and it became the biggest hit off the album, you know. So it was pretty interesting that they would just thought it was just a song that, you know, they like, hey, our audience base won't pretty like this because we kind of doing a rock thing, and it's kind of a funky disco dance thing, so we might not want to alienate our fan base. But Michael Jackson said, trust me, everybody gonna like this one. And interesting enough, several years later, Michael Jackson released Billie Jean. And when I listened to those two, you can kind of determine that the influence from Another One Bites the Dust carried on into Billie Jean, because they both kind of structured the same, where it's about the drums and the bass, the driven bass line that carries the song. So that's number 3. Number 4 is this one. I mean, a lot of people don't know this unless you kind of look at the album covers and the credits. Stevie Nicks, who used to be with Fleetwood Mac, she did a solo album, or a couple of them, and it was a song on one of the albums called Stand Back, and it was kind of heavy synthesized thing, because that was during the era of the 80s when synthesizers was, coming into his heyday, or coming into, can't even get this out. It was becoming a big thing. And Prince actually played synthesizers, or some synthesizers, on that particular song, because Stevie Nicks and Prince were pretty good friends. So, Prince came in studio, played some synthesizers on that particular song, Stand Back. Number 5, last but not least, we all know Marvin Gaye. We all love Marvin Gaye. And we think of Marvin Gaye as a great singer, great songwriter, and actually pretty good piano player. But what most people don't know, when Marvin Gaye came onto the Motown stable, he was just a drummer. He was not a singer at that time. He was just a drummer. And then eventually they discovered, said, man, this guy can sing and he's handsome. Give him a mic. And the rest was history. But actually, Marvin Gaye was a drummer before he became a singer on Motown. And the song T Plays It Cool, which came from the Trouble Man movie soundtrack, actually, Marvin Gaye wrote that song. He actually played drums on it. And it's a real cool drum part. I actually did a cover of it a while ago, and YouTube took it off. But there it is, my 5 musical fun trivia facts. Till next time, take care. Thanks for watching.